just going back to the open mic thing, where you were saying about like going to school and studying it rather than blagging it. It's quite an important thing to touch on there from a comedian's perspective, I think, because if people don't know or understand or love the open mic circuit, it's populated with fucking lunatics.
Absolutely.
And
it's fucking insane. And
it is. It's
fucking
like
insane. For me, I'd argue definitely, and people might argue otherwise, I think it's the hardest part of comedy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I can't speak from a sort of, professional comedian's perspective, but it was, when I was doing it, it was fucking grueling. And I got to the point where there's a couple of guys for a night I was constantly at trying new material and stuff, who were like, oh, you could go, like, you could be a professional comic. You've just got to resign from your office job. And at the time, like, my girlfriend was pregnant. And I was like, I can't fucking take the hit. So that was it, like, kind of dream smashed at that point. But like my memories of the open mic circuit was it was kind of populated with people who would so you mentioned Russell Brand a minute ago. I remember seeing a guy in Farringdon who had hair like Russell Brand, and he was quite sort of erratic and sporadic, like and very flowery with his vocabulary. It was like he was really set on pretending to be Russell Brand, but no fucking jokes. And it was fascinating to watch because I was like, it's like he in his mind, all Russell Brand is this guy with crazy hair and a flowery vocabulary, and that's what makes the people laugh. And I was like, there's no sort of scratching beneath the surface and kind of like understanding that there's a real craft and joke writing and joke mechanics to all of the stuff that he does. And that guy's not a lone shark in the open mic community. It's fucking chock full of lunatics.
It's full of lunatics. It's like when people ask me about open mic, is like, on the one hand, when you're trying to explain to people, because most people don't see stand-up at any other level other than on TV anyway. So most people's level of understanding of stand-up is nigh on zero. Because when you tell people you're going to become a stand-up, they go, oh, do you know what you should do? Here's my idea. There's a place called the Comedy Store. I imagine that comedy is stored there. Why don't you go there and perform? I can only imagine the outcome would be good. Hey, I've got a better idea. There's a show on TV called Live at the Apollo. If you appear on there, you become a bona fide comedian. Why don't you go there, knock on their doors, get yourself on a show?
Yeah.
That would be all right. And that was people's understanding. And I think, so doing open mic is, it's kind of, it builds a steam of aspiring comedians, because you're like, oh, there are other people that actually understand what the fuck I'm doing. Then you're kind of like, are these the people that want to understand me?
Yeah, is this the tier that I'm on, really?
But that's the thing, because comedy is like, especially when I started performing in like primarily white rooms as well, where they're midweek, a lot of them were in pubs and stuff. And by that same token, it's like, well, who are the kind of people who go to a pub during the week? A large amount of them will be high-functioning alcoholics. Some of them won't be high-functioning. Some of them will be people that have nothing else to do. Some people are just coming after work for something to take a load off. Some people might be genuine comedy fans. Some people are just lonely, recently divorced, estranged. And
on a date.
On a date. So you have this mix of all people who, I guess, are either hiding their true selves or trying to present a best version of self. And they all and then they rally around this comedian who they believe is the most comfortable with themselves out of everyone else in the room. And that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. And it's like, I feel quite fortunate that I bailed out of it all at the time that I did, because I think if I had carried on slogging it and it hadn't turned into anything, I think I would have become one of those guys who's like I don't want to be ageist, but like, sort of a 57-year-old guy who's been doing open mic for 30 years and his kids don't speak to him anymore, and I don't want to. I'm glad that's not my life,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys like that. I feel like, and that's and because those people you leave, I've left out those people as well, because there are some people in comedy who, I guess they understand that comedy and public speaking provides you with an advantage that few people have in their normal day-to-day, is that they're in a room speaking and everyone else is listening to them. And the dynamic of how a comedy club appears, that you're on an elevated stage, Now, when people are looking up to you when they're sitting down or they're standing up and they're looking up to you on a stage, there's almost this, the leverage changes almost automatically where you have the power. And some people can become very drunk on that power. And while they do that, then if they're so focused on that, then they don't really focus on anything else other than having their ego massaged by people indulging every word that they say. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's an opportunity for them just once a week, just once for 5 minutes. Then you will fucking listen to me.
Yeah, and they say stuff like this. Well, I didn't think it was funny, but it's just a story I wanted to tell you. Well, you could have written a blog.